But what he was doing is he's basically showing you a circumstance in life of what's going to happen, which is sometimes situations are going to happen that are out of your control, and certain things are not going to be fair as they should. But you got to understand, life ain't fair. Write down fair on a piece of paper, crumple it up, and sácalo en la basura. Okay? Throw it in the trash. Because the life is not fair.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
Back with another episode of the Arnold's Thoughts podcast. It's your boy Arnold. I'm with my young homie here, Valentino. Introduce yourself, Valentino.
I'm a young player who wants to play overseas, so I'm here to learn.
What makes you want to play overseas, I should say?
I just fell in love with playing ball. Like, I just want to work out every day and be better.
So when did you first start playing? You see, like
14-year-olds.
14?
Yeah.
Who was your star? Like, you see someone, you say, hey, I see them, and they say they make me want to be a professional basketball player, because muchos jugadores solo mira de NBA.
Yeah.
Pero ¿por qué tú quieres overseas?
I have seen a lot of players from overseas. I don't know the names, but I like to watch EuroLeague.
EuroLeague?
Yeah, because it had like more team plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 1v1 all the time.
Okay. So what about here? You want to play, for context, estamos en Rio Gallo. This is your home.
Yeah, my hometown.
This is your hometown. They don't have a team here? Ellos no tienen un equipo aquí?
The team is not good. Like, they don't have a lot of competition to play, so it's not good here. Only if you play for the league, but if you don't play for the league, like, just play in the team, you have to play only 2 teams, so it's kind of bad, the competition here.
There's not a good level of basketball here.
Yes, sir.
So that's why you want to go to, and you say you leave today. Where you go?
I'm going to Córdoba.
Córdoba? I don't really know. Yo no sabe mucho de ciudades aquí. ¿Cómo es Córdoba? ¿La balanza es mejor allá o cómo
sí, tiene Atenas.
Oh, Atenas, okay. Atenas tiene muchos problemas con ese jugador. El extranjero, yo sabe como 3 extranjeros cortados en la primera mes. Entonces, esa es the reality of overseas basketball. It's like that, man. It's not. It's great. Like when we train, me, you, and Stanby, you know, you get to see the level of 2 good pros training. Don't go home. Stay and train every single day. Train hard. And can you do that every day for... yo 33, yo jugaba por 30, no, hasta yo tengo 5 años. Entonces, puedes lo mismo cosa, trabajar duro siempre por el próximo 10 años. Es una pregunta. ¿Tú crees?
Sí.
Because like, okay, so where do you want to play? You want to play professional here, or do you want to go other places?
I want to go to another country, so more for the economy part, because here's like kind of fucked up a little bit. So like play from another country. I was watching Canada too.
Canada? I know somebody who just recently from Chile left to go to Canada, not for basketball, but other things. But is that the only country you looked at?
And they all too, but it's another just level. Like that's the highest level. But like I want to play for this year or the next year, at least get one chance to play there. It's like my next objective, my next goal.
And what's your first goal?
Get any scholarships, any recruitment.
To go play somewhere, or to go to like a school in America or something?
If it can be a school in America, yeah, but to go everywhere. I love the play style of live, train, eat, train, sleep, train, and repeat again. Like, it's something that I want to do in my life.
Right. So what makes you, at this point in your life, what level do you think you are? Like, how far do you think you are from playing professional? Like, in your honest opinion?
I know I'm not too far. I'm way far from my prime. But I know I'm not way too far to play, like, at that level. I have seen kids like me that play to the league, and they are not far from me. And they don't have the obsession I have. So I think I can outwork them.
Explica su obsesión. Porque para juego overseas tú necesitas una obsesión. It has to be una obsesión para siempre subir en otro nivel, para subir en su mental, para siempre trabajar. Y no solo de físico, pero abre su mente. Porque tú solo vives aquí. No vives en, ¿cómo se dice? Bolivia o Ecuador. Es un diferente mundo. Ellos hablan diferentes costumbres, es diferente professors are different. So, su obsession, it has to be on another level. What's up, guys? I just dropped my new ebook, 6 must-have steps to be an overseas basketball player. You know, I've been playing for the last 9 years. I got all the steps and the traits that you need to start your journey with networking, with getting a mentor, all the things that you need to start your journey to be a protege. So go get that ebook, click the link in the bio, and make sure you get your steps to being that overseas pro one day. Let's go. Only if you want to, like, because I only talk with players in America who are coming from like college, so they think different. Ellos piensan diferente. Ellos siempre, they think that this life is fácil. ¿Entendiste? Ellos creen es fácil para vivir en overseas and todo es para mí. Como yo viene aquí and todo hace todas las cosas yo quiero. It's not like that. You have to work, especially if you're going overseas, you have to work harder than the people that live there because you're not from there. You're not from there, and you got to work harder because they can cut you and you go home. And it's the worst feeling in the world to get cut, but it's a part of the business. And that's the first thing I feel like you need to understand about overseas basketball is the business. Understand, start learning the business of basketball. We only learn the play. You play basketball. That's the easiest part.
Yeah.
The business part. That's what you have to understand. The agents, the money, the contracts, the changing of the currencies, the living. All these things are part of the business that you must know. What country you should go to first. No one really talks about the country you should look at first. Like right now, okay, you said Canada. Do you know what it takes to get from where you're at now to get to Canada? Do you know the steps? What are your steps?
First is to play most of the high level on here on my country, my main country. to have certain highlights, video highlights, and to have a good degree, like have good grades.
So you want to go there for school, or you want to go there just for playing for pro?
Both.
For both. Okay. I've never really spoken with anyone when it comes to going to school to go play. Like, I didn't know if that's an avenue that you can go, like you come here, you play, and then you're good enough to go to the school and then play in their professional league.
I think so.
Yeah? Because I know a few people in the professional league. Like, I don't know the difference between the school league and the professional league. I just know the professional league. And I never really heard of it being tied. I may be wrong. I don't know. That's not that. I just know of the professional league. And the Canada League is starting to go up. It's a lot of players, a lot of NBA players, a lot of like high-level players go to play in Canada because that city, that country, it's not like Argentina. It's more money, it's just a better country as far as the industry. The business. That's why it's so important to understand the business of it. So tell me about Cordoba. Where do you go? Like, what are the first things you're going to do when you get to Cordoba?
I got a personal trainer, Facundo Sukaski.
Okay.
And he got all the days, no Sunday, but I work with him most of the time. And I probably hit him up and tell him if I can work out. And then I probably spend the rest of the day with my family. I got 2 brothers, and my mom and my stepfather.
Have you been to any of the games when we played the games?
Yeah, the last game.
What do you learn from watching the game? Like, what do you see that a pro does different from what you're doing right now that you can take to your game to help you get to where you want to go?
I know, and I like to learn more. I'm trying to perfect slow in my piece. Like find my whole rhythm to play better, because for example you found a rhythm in a time and you got 3 straight buckets, and like that makes the whole energy of team goes up, and that's where like we got a little bit up. So most of what I want to do right now and what I'm looking for in the mental side is like find my rhythm. Like I can go into a zone, I'm locked in, but sometimes like I get a little distracted and I lose it.
The game moves, start speeding up. That's definitely something that's good that you notice that, because it's not something you can just. Some people who are just blessed to have rhythm are some of the best in the world. But it's just something like, I'm 33. So I've been in so many situations that I can slow the game down and just pick my spots. No, not to let the game speed up or speed you up. And like the coach, like when we get into with the coach, sometimes they get upset. We make 1 or 2 turnovers. But that's the game of basketball. It's going to be up. It's going to be down. You have to stay right in the middle. That's what you always have to think. Like my coach in college, he always say, okay, Proximo, what's next? It does not matter if you turn the ball over, you miss a shot, bad play.
Next play.
Next play. Next play. Absolutely nothing could ever happen after what just happened. It doesn't even matter anymore. You can miss. I've missed 10 shots, 0 for 10 in the finals, and hit one of the biggest shots, because it's always what's next. It's always what's next. But that's definitely something you have to start being. You got your coach, but you have to start tapping into people like your position. Your position is what, 2 guard? Point guard?
Point guard or second guard, yeah. So
you got to start following the people like CP3, Chris Paul. Go back and watch Steve Nash. For me, I always like to go back and watch the greatest players play the game in my position. I like the Paul Pierce. That's just one of my favorite players because he has the mid-range. Of course, I love Kobe, and everybody loves Jordan, but it's specific. I don't just watch them because, they're the greatest. Yes, they are the greatest, but I'm watching their game. I'm watching their footwork. Where do most of my shots come from?
Shot.
Mid-range. They're the best at the mid-range. Carmelo. You see what I'm saying? That's who I mimic. I look at the most. So I don't. Kevin Durant. I don't just watch the game to watch highlights. I'm watching which way are they moving their body. Which shot are they taking? How many times they put the ball on the ground? What move are they doing to get to their shot? Because you got to understand what type of game you have. You have to understand and break your game down. You don't have to be the best shooter, the best dribbler, the best. You just got to know your game and start working on perfecting what you're strong at. I know what my strength is. Shoot the open three, mid-range. I don't have to dribble 1,000 times. I don't have to fight in the post. I don't have to do all that. You got to just find your spots. Find your spots. What else do you want to know? I remember you wrote me and you wanted to just understand some more. So from any of my podcasts that you watched, what's some things that you just on your mind that you wanted to know more about?
Most of how can you get to that, I don't know if song, but how can you get concentrate to don't get distracted on the car, like just to quiet the noise?
Well, I would say, okay, for me, I always got to relate to myself and how I played the game. I can't really speak on how other people do it, but for me, you got to think about what's the most important thing in the moment. Sometimes you think about, am I going to make my shots? Am I going to make the right play? None of that matters. You have to only think about what's going on at this very moment in the game. It doesn't matter in the second quarter. It doesn't matter where you at in the game at that very moment. And that's all that matters. Because really, that's all that matters. The play that's happening right now, that's the only thing that matters. And I think that's what helps me stay in the moment. You always have to think and stay in the moment and don't let the moment make you. I'll give you an example. I was el año pasado cuando yo juega con Ureconce, and yo tengo dos tiro libres. It's tie game. And I missed one free throw. We foul. They make 2 free throws. We down 3 in the finals. But I never stopped thinking. I see the next play. I already know, okay, I'm going to make this shot. Before the play even happened, before it even started, I missed. We still have time. Nothing else matters because there's still a chance. So my mind is not overthinking of, oh man, what can happen if I don't make the shot? Hey, I know there's a next shot. You have to always be optimistic. Always thinking of the good that can happen in the moment. Instead of most people think about the shots that's missed instead of what can happen if I make the shot. I'm already thinking of the shot. I'm always thinking of something good that's going to happen. Even if you miss 10, what good can happen next? Life moves on. That's the same way with basketball. A next play, there's always a next play. There's always, as long as you're playing the game, there's always a next play. So you can't put too much pressure on yourself in one play. And that's what we do most of the time as basketball players. I missed a shot. Man, I missed. I can't. Yeah, you just get mad over one. my coach used to say in college, you're being selfish. Because you're so worried about your one missed shot that you letting it affect your team and you not getting back on defense, or you're not that affecting you on the court that's going to affect your team. Because you know if you're on a team and one player is in his emotions, it affects the whole team. Even the players on the bench. Even if the one player is on the bench and he's upset, it affects the whole team.
The energy.
So you got to always be mindful and just stand in the moment. For me, I do a lot of visualization. I start every day with just what I want out of the day. What do I think about in the day? I think about, okay, I need to train. There's a book. I don't know if you do a lot of reading.
Yeah.
A lot of reading, right? There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. I don't know, no sé cómo se dice en español. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. And in this book, it's only about the mind. Only talks about the mind. And it says that your mind cannot tell the difference between you shooting the basketball, like in the gym, then if you sit down and focus and shoot, it's no difference. So, if you want to train, you can sit down and train shooting in your mind. You come inside the gym, it's like right now. I sit, I think I'm walking in the gym. What shoes do I have on? What socks do I have on? What pants do I have on? What shirt do I have on? What's the temperature like? How does my hands feel? I have a ball in my hand. How does the ball feel? What's the smell in the air? How does my back feel? How does it feel to dribble the ball? I'm looking at the rim. I get to my spot. I shoot the ball. I just shot the ball. Can't tell the difference. And the more you bring it down into more detail, the realer your mind makes it. That's why you go to what shoes you got on, what socks you have on. You take time to think about, okay, what kind of shoes do I have on? What kind of socks do I have? How does my knees feel? Am I warmed up? How does it feel? Is it cold in here? Is it warm in here? You start really painting the picture in your head. That's where your mind starts drawing out what you want. So every morning, I do this every single morning for almost a year now. So if you do the math, I started off, I used to make 100. 5 spots, mid-range, and then 5 threes, 5 spots, 10 shots. That's 100 shots, and then 10 free throws. So before anybody wake up, I go to train, I already made 100 shots. There's no difference. So in my mind, I've already made 100 shots before I even go to the gym. So if you add that up, if you're making, now I do 225 shots, 7 spots, 15 mid-range, 15 threes, 15 free throws. That's my routine every morning, no matter what. Because I take the game to a mental aspect. And that's what people don't do. They don't go to the mental. You got to make the game all up here. The game's 80% mental. So if you can control the game in your head first, the game on the court is nothing. If I see, because what are you doing? You're training your brain and you're training yourself to always see yourself make a basket. You think your brain thinks between 60,000, 60 mil y 70 mil thoughts per dia. For a day. So in all those thoughts, how many times are you making a basket? You know, you're not really thinking of that. And 90% of the causes we think today, we thought of yesterday. So what you have to start doing is being intentional en las cosas tú piensas. If I start focusing on making shots, the drills that I want to do, whatever area I want to get better at, if I start being intentional and focusing on these things, then it becomes, I'm more aware. Now when I go to shoot, I'm already thinking how this shot is going in because I've been thinking about it every single day. And if my mind cannot tell the difference, then I'm putting up 225 shots a day, 225 shots a day times 365 days in this 1 year. How many more shots am I putting up than the average player? So you're giving yourself a mental advantage. If the game is 80% mental and you're giving yourself this huge advantage mentally, because even you just say, you don't think the game in that way. You just think, okay, when I go to the gym, this is what I'm going to do. But you're not actually thinking about what are you doing and what are you actually focusing on and training your brain. That's the thing. You have to train your brain to think on the things that you actually want to get done, because you're being intentional with what you want to. I know I want to shoot. I think I'm a pretty decent shooter, as you can see, and I always want to get better. So I intentionally focus on those things. I intentionally train my brain to only see the ball going in the basket. Does that mean you're going to make every shot? No. But every day you're focusing that much more on your overall goal or whatever it is. My goal is to see the ball go through the basket. So if I'm intentionally thinking of the ball going through the basket every single day, 225 times every single day, after a while, it's going to start going in. No matter what, it's going to start going in. And then that's how you kind of calm yourself when you take a shot or when you're in the game. Because why? Because you've seen it go in so many times. I've already seen the basketball go inside the goal so many times in my head over and over. Why would I worry about taking another shot? That's where your confidence comes in. That's where the confidence comes in. That's where the peace in your mind comes in, because you're training yourself for that. I really focus on defense. So what do I do to focus on defense? I be intentional. I intentionally watch a defensive drill video on YouTube every day. At least I try to. 6 days for a week, I try to watch a defense video. Why? How they play defense, better ways to move your feet. Why? Because I'm intentional on trying to get better at defense. So when you get in those positions in the game or in practice, your mind gonna go back to the first thing you think about. This is the correct way to do it. This is the correct way to close out. Last game I had 4 steals. I take that because I remember watching the video every single day, where to put my feet, where to put my body, where's my help at. But if I don't make that a priority, thought has to be in your mental. You have to control your mind first before you can control anything on the court. So that's how you kind of calm yourself in the mood, and it's all about getting into that mindset. It's all about the mindset. That's pretty much all that's what I preach and try to talk about every day, is just the mindset. Getting in the mindset, getting in the right mindset, because that controls everything. The hardest thing that we don't do is think. As humans, we don't think. I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna play. You have to sit down and actually think. Focus. What it is that I want to achieve? What is the one thing that I can do today that'll get me to my ultimate goal? Okay. Then what is the one thing I can do this week that'll help me get to my ultimate goal? What is one thing in this very moment that I can do that can help me get to my ultimate goal? So you break it down all the way down. Your end goal, I want to play in Canada. Okay, what do I got to do this year? Then what do I have to do in 6 months? Then what do I have to do in a month? Then what do I have to do in a week? Then what do I have to do in a day? What do I have to do in this hour? What do I have to do in this very moment? So you just start there. Start with that step first. Don't think about the end. Just think about, okay, what can I do right now? And just focus on that. Anything else you got?
Talking about that, I like a lot more the process, like to see where I was yesterday and where I'm right now. Like see that change is like what really keeps me going. Like the end goal is I feel like it's a regard for all these days that I have worked hard. But like what I feel like a reward is working hard and ending the training knowing I gave everything I had in that moment. And something that I want to ask is, how do you deal with when people... I first met you playing against Stambi. I don't know if you remember. And Stambi was calling some lame for...
I hope he watching it. I hope he watching it so he could understand why I was getting upset when he called those lame fouls. Exactly. Now you see.
Some of them were kind of lame, so I'm calling it right now. I'm sorry. Man, how do you not get that upset? I saw both, like they both were talking back, but how do you not let that affect you? Because if I don't get wrong, I think you won or he won. I don't remember, but how do you keep playing that defense? Like, how do you deal with them?
Are you tired of feeling fatigued and struggling with weight loss? Or maybe you struggle with falling asleep at night? We've got the solution for you. Introducing MVU Dreaming Slim and Empowered Spray Technology. Our innovative line of health and wellness products that combine the latest technology with natural ingredients to help you feel your best. With MVU Dreaming, you can say goodbye to sleepless nights and hello to a natural, restful sleep. And with MVU Slim, you can suppress your appetite and support weight loss with essential vitamins and minerals. But that's not all. MVU Empowered gives you long-lasting natural energy to boost your metabolism and convert fat, carbohydrates, and proteins into energy. Don't miss this opportunity to improve your health and wealth. Try MVU Dreaming, Slim, and Empowered today and start feeling your best. There's so many different players and so many different... honestly, it's just like life. Stambi obviously is a great player. But what he was doing is he's basically showing you a circumstance in life of what's going to happen, which is sometimes situations are going to happen that are out of your control, and certain things are not going to be fair as they should. But you got to understand, life ain't fair. Write down fair on a piece of paper, crumple it up, and sácalo en la basura. Okay? Throw it in the trash. Because the life is not fair. So that's all. That's how you have to. That's why I go back to the mentality. I understand that I'm playing against a person that plays in this way. I see there's two things I can do about it. Let it affect me and mess my game up, or focus on the most important thing in the moment, which is playing the defense the right way that I need to play, focus on the next play, focusing on the play at hand. If I let outside sources, someone making a bad call, bad referees, a horrible coach, a problem with my family at home, if I let that affect me in the moment, then everything comes crumbling down. You have to be able to control. Everything always boils back to controlling your mindset. Everything. Every day is a fight. It's literally a fight to control your mind. Because you get more negative thoughts in your head than you do positive. So you have to constantly fight that thought. Majority of players, where they get in their problems, or just humans in general, the problems that they face is their own like thoughts against them, their disbelieving thoughts, the negative thoughts from themselves, pushing them down. And it's just self-infliction. It's our own thoughts that hold us back. That's the only thing that's really holding us back. So if you, like I say, being intentional, being very intentional on what I think about to get to where I want to go. I have to, when you constantly, see, it's all about becoming the person before you can have the thing. And that's what we miss. That's where a lot of people don't understand is if you want to be a certain player, you have to become that player first. So you have to do the work to become that player. I want to be a professional overseas. Well, you have to become that player internally first. What does that look like? The training, the workout, the studying, the mental aspects, the reading, just becoming the person first before you have what it is that you want. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to first think like one first. So if you want to be an overseas basketball player, you got to start thinking like, how do they think? You know, that's why I say go before you ask me that. That's why I say go to my podcast page and just go listen to what I think. Because if you truly want to know, I got over hours and hours of content of me talking about what it takes to be a player, things you should look forward to, everything on conversations with other players. If you're not even able to do that, then you're not serious. Because that's a part of understanding the game. That's understanding what you're getting into. That's doing research and really think about whatever it is you want to do. If you don't do no research and say, I'm just do that. When does that ever work? Why do you go to school? You know, you go to a degree, they make you do hours and hours of work in a certain field before you can become that thing. If you want to be a doctor, most doctors have to do 7 years of work becoming a doctor before they become a doctor. They have to watch and study and read and do all these other things to become the person before they are the person. You know, you have to become an overseas basketball player first by doing the research, by doing the work, by doing the extra work, by understanding the business, getting the knowledge of what it takes to become that before you are that. Everybody, think about this in this day and age, right? How many people want to play basketball? How many people make it? And I'm going to be 100% from you. You're coming from Argentina, you're a little shorter, you're undersized, you got a lot of odds stacked up against you. Just being 100%. I'm tall. Yeah. I come from America. I'm athletic. I got some advantages about me. You've got a lot stacked up against you. But it's either two things. You're either going to let that affect you or you're going to use that to fuel you. Because just everybody see who the player I am today. You didn't see me when I was 15. You didn't see me when I was 16. I was horrible. Okay? I was horrible. They cut me from the team. I was tiny. I was horrible. But I never stopped believing. I never one time stopped believing that I could play this game of basketball as a pro one day. And a lot of times it's just having it was one professional in my town. There was no professionals ever come. It was one guy, one day. He came to the gym. We played pickup, kind of like how we did, me, you and Stanley. We played one day. And he just talked to us for like 20 minutes about basketball. And just being around that one dude, I said, okay, I'm gonna be a pro. That one person, just being around and knowing, and he said, hey, you could be a pro too. Just got to make sure you do the work. That's all it took. That's all it took. Just one person just saying, hey, you can do it too. Because you're surrounded by people who are telling you can't do it. And it's too hard. And no, it's going to be hard. But tell me one thing in life that's worth it, that's not hard. I don't know, any NBA player, look at the World Cup. I guarantee you that wasn't hard. I mean, that wasn't easy. for Messi and the team, that was one of the hardest things they had to do. But was it worth it? See, the worth in it, the worth is in the work. The worth is in the work. All of it. The mental, the physical. You love to train, then you got to start thinking of different ways to train. And when I say that, it's more what will give you an advantage now over 80% of players if you start incorporating the mental game into the basketball. Spend more time focusing on the mental game of basketball than just the physical part of basketball. And that'll change your whole game. Start taking it to the mental parts. Focusing on meditation, visualization, motivation. Like I put on my page, my Arnold's Thoughts page, I do motivation every other day because I know how important it is to hear some encouraging words. All these things add up. There's so many little things that make a big difference that we got to start incorporating. My coach would be like, "Oh, how are you so fit? And you train." And I go to sleep at 10 at night. I wake up every day at 5:30 in the morning. I'm on a quest to be something great, to be something legendary. I have to put my mind on that. So I have to think different. I have to move different. I have to move in a way that's going to get me to what I want. I eat different foods. I train different. I think different. I read different. And then when they look at you one day and you'd be like, "Man, you're kind of different." I would hope so. I would hope so. So really start going into, I'll tell you that I don't know what's the name. I gave it to Juthi. I'll probably send it to you. But the book is called Psycho Cybernetics. I'll send it to you. And I'll give you a copy of my book that I wrote, The 6 Must-Have Traits to be overseas. You can read in English, right?
Yeah. I have one book on my back over here. I carry to everywhere. It's Relentless by the Michael Jordan trainer.
Okay.
There is about that, the mental side, and I have read it all. It's my favorite book right now.
Yeah, man. So it's really, I'm sitting here telling you the same thing. It's all about the mental game. It's really all about the mental game. It just doesn't seem like it at times because you'd be like, how is me sitting down and thinking going to get me to making more baskets? Actually, it really does.
I believe because I do meditation too. I'm trying to learn how to do visualization more. I have seen a lot of videos on YouTube, but most of my mornings are meditation, yoga, and then I watch while I'm eating breakfast. I'm watching some motivational speaks, so like that let my mind go like, let's do this. Yeah,
that's a great way. That's pretty much my same thing I do. I wake up, I pray, I meditate, visualize, and then I go I go and train, and I listen to motivation every single day. So you're on the right path. It's just a constant growth. It's just constantly growing every single day and just getting every bit of knowledge that you can and absorbing that. And don't take it too serious. One of my biggest issues that I have for so long, I took it too serious. Yes, I'm going to work hard. Yes, I'm finna do what I need to do, but you can't take it too serious. Enjoy it, because there's going to be a day you're going to look back and be like, man, I really enjoyed the days where I just had to wake up and just train and didn't put so much stress on myself. You already know the path that you want. You already got your goal. You already got it locked in. It's all about, and that's really the hardest part, enjoying the journey. Don't even think about the end goal. Just enjoy the next step. That's really what it's all about. Like you heard Kobe, he was like getting up early, going to the gym. That's really the dream. The results are just championships that happen because of the dream. Falling in love with just the journey of working out and training and getting better and mentally and physically. That's really the dream. It really is. When you fall in love with that, sky's the limit for you, bro. That's all you got? Good? Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. I wish you luck in your quarterback and just wherever you got next in life, man. I really wish you luck, and just write me anytime you need, man. Just write me. I'll still be posting and stuff like that, just trying to help out anytime I want, but keep going, bro. You're gonna get there. All right? Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.